Anti-settlement groups in the occupied territories revealed that violence committed by Israeli settlers against Palestinians and their properties in occupied West Bank in 2018 was the highest compared to the previous years. Israeli media revealed that the settlers' attacks tripled last year in comparison to 2017 alone. Israeli authorities have documented 482 attacks by settlers. Palestinians say the real number is much higher.
It is clearly that's supported by the Israeli military. It's a strategy and a policy by the Israeli government because they want also the settlers from one is to force their authority on the West Bank and to terrorize the Palestinians. So that's why they have been free their hands into the attacks on the Palestinians, either in the villages, attacks by nights, or on the roads that they're attacking the Palestinian cars, or like even crossing the roads.
Experts also believe that the settler assaults are not isolated incidents. They say this sort of violence is part of a wider strategy designed to assert territorial domination over the occupied West Bank. Acts of vandalism by Israeli settlers have been targeting areas adjacent to illegal Israeli settlements. These attacks consisted of beating Palestinians, painting nationalist and anti-Arab or anti-Muslim slogans or properties, damaging homes and vehicles, and cutting down trees belonging to Palestinian farmers. Mosques and churches have even been also among the settlers' targets. Observers say Israel investigates less than 5% of the settler attacks, and when an actual probe takes place, the perpetrators go unpunished.
Hundreds of attacks, and none of them are being seriously investigated, and thus none of those carrying out the assaults are being charged. In many of the cases, Israeli soldiers protected the settlers and allowed them to attack unarmed civilians under the pretext that the settlers were only defending themselves.
Palestinians complain that Israeli settlers continue to seize their privately owned lands in the occupied West Bank and build the structures on them, and then the Israeli regime retroactively approves them. Observers say Israel's policy of retroactive approvals has paved the way for more land grabbing by settlers. Palestinians warn that violence by extremist settlers has been on the rise across the occupied West Bank. They add the fact that settlers go unpunished by the Israeli regime has emboldened the perpetrators to go ahead with their attacks to an increased level. Mona Qandil for Press TV in front of Pesigot settlement near occupied Ramallah.